What's going on, everybody? Appreciate y'all tuning in to the channel this morning here at 323 Fabrication. Ooh, Barracuda. So, got the car pushed in the shops, throwed it up on the lift, snatched the wheels and tires off. So, I noticed when I was loading the car, and the tires all seemed to hold air pretty good, that there were a bunch of broke wheel studs, and I know why now. There's only 2 left on this front corner, and I guess it took 3 broken ones for whoever installed the wheels last to figure out that these are righty, loosey, lefty, tighty on just the driver's side, and then the passenger side is lefty, loosey, righty, tighty. So they're opposite, which is kind of wild. The only other time I have ever seen that is on Dad's Studebaker, the 51 Studebaker. So kind of nuts, but cool at the same time. So snatched wheels and tires off. I went around with PB Blaster and lubed everything. Anything that I think will ever come apart in the future has now been PB blasted for the first time, and I'll probably do it again in a couple of days. We do want to get back on Old Blue working on that pickup, but I really wanted to throw this car in here and kind of see what we were working with, because now that we have a lift inside, it makes life so much easier. So I'm gonna flip the camera around, show you what we got going on. It's a pretty good car. Let's see. All right, y'all. Can you dig it? I love these high bay LED lights. I love having a lift inside. But as you can see, I just, everything, obviously, it will get a set of 90-10 drag shocks, you know what I mean, rebuild the front suspension, rebuild the front brakes. The front drums do come off. And one of the guys, while I was loading the car, and the car came from Dark Side Customs in Pensacola. They got a bunch of cars there, and this car was not going to get built, and they decided to sell it, so I bought it, which I think was a fantastic idea. But I got the wheels and tires off, pretty cool. I think this was somebody's hot rod at one point. It's got a set of kind of sport track rear tires and some narrow front tires on it. They're wide 70. Let's see, let's look at them real quick. Well, this tire's been changed. They are called... Oop, this one's busted. We can't read it. Let's go read the other ones. Watch your heads. All right. Delta Super Premium 140, 14.0, I don't know. Anyway, these are called Super Jet Sport Wide 70s. Pretty cool. They do gnarly, doesn't run, drag the tires on the trailer burnout. So he was like, man, I don't know why it's not rolling. He had took the brakes apart so that they would turn. Fun fact, right? They do turn. Ow. Both ways, both sides. What does not turn is the center diff. So it's an open diff or whatever. Anyway, something's broke inside. You can't turn this. So the diff's locked up. And I don't think these are going to be bolt-in axles, but I'm going to pull a drum and check. That way, well, this is a... Clean the camera real quick. It's fuzzy. How's that? Is that better? A little cleaner? A little less fuzzy? All right. So I'm going to pull them and check. I doubt they're bolt-in axles, being that it's a traditional rear cover, but I'm going to snatch the cover off of it real quick and see if there's something I can take apart so the car will roll. It'll be a lot easier to deal with the car if the car rolls. But I'm sure the gas tank will have to be replaced. Hoping I can get a rear bumper for it. It's going to need a little work eventually, but I really just want to make a beater out of this thing and drive the wheels off of it. So that's my intention. Whether y'all like that or not, everybody's different. I'm a put it together, drive it, enjoy it kind of guy. I'd rather spend 6 months on it and beat it down the road than 2 or 3 years restoring it. It's had floor pans laid in it, that one, and this one up here. So, and the tunnel's been cut up. I don't know what they did, but it's definitely somebody's hot rod at one point. All right, something else I want to check while we're in here that I hadn't checked yet. So these cars, from what I read online, yep, and they're right, they're 5-on-4, where like your B body is going to be a 5-on-4.5. So, unfortunately, that's going to make getting wheels for this a little difficult, because they're not going to be as readily available. 5-on-4.5 is pretty common. We got a lot of that stuff. But we don't have any 5-on-4. So, I had to find some wheels somewhere, some used ones. But we'll get the diff cover pulled off. See what we're working with. I think I know why the diff's locked up. It's had no oil in it, and it was full of water at one point. Now it's just full of rust. So, you tried to turn it again? No, I haven't. It's pretty gnarly. It's open diff too, so I mean, ain't nothing lost. 7 1/4 with an open diff. But still, that's crunchy. Huh. I'll try to get one of the brake drums off and see if the axle's bolt in, then we can just pull the carrier out of it. All right, y'all, so something pretty cool. So I got the brake drums off. They are bolt-in axles. Take a 9/16. So I'm gonna slide the axles out of it and then try to break the carrier bearing straps loose and pull the carrier out of the diff. And then we should be able to roll the car. Should make it easier. That's what these access holes are for. So that's good. All right, got the axles unbolted and pulled out finally. Got 3 out of the 4 carrier strap bolt deals took loose. Hoping maybe I can pull this one and knock it out this way, because this one, they're 9/16 socket, but this one's just rounding off, so it's not working out. We'll see. Ended up breaking these Craftsman extractors out, and the number 7 just did go over it. But they're back twists for taking rounded bolt heads off or nuts or whatever. Had to kind of tap it on there, but it worked. Yo, that was a job. Like, that was a job. So, let's look at it. Literally just got it out. Hey, talking about a bunch of beating. Like, I chipped teeth off the ring gear, beating it back and forth, trying to get it loose. I was PV blasting in there. You can see there was rust in there behind the bearings. It was rusted to the pinion gear. But, I mean, I beat the nut flat on that one. Broke some teeth on it. But it's out. I mean, it's an open diff 7 1/4. So, guys, it's not a big deal. I'm going to scoop the rust out of it, slap the axles back in it. I guess I'll throw the straps back in there just for good measure. Just so they're somewhere else and not here. Because I guess you could clean them up and use them with some new bolts. But that's junk. That's never going to be worth having. So, here we go. It's finally out. I mean, probably 20 minutes worth of beating on this thing to finally get it out. And I mean, that's quite the crowbar. There we go. Throw it back together. I looked for a piece of pipe to slide over those so they'd kind of keep each other picked up. You can see they're not exactly centered, but it's gonna roll. Axles are bolted up tight. That one's been out, but evidently they had a problem with this thing at one point, and then we were talking about it, and I'm guessing maybe the bearing on the pinion gear's locked up or something anyway, and they heard it, and they parked it and pulled the motor and trans, and when they drained the diff to see what was wrong with it, they never put oil back in it, and so it just rusted. But I will scrape the gear off, see if I can find some numbers, see what gear it was, just for fun. Got it all stuck back together, got to slap the brake drums back on, stick our wheels and tires back on, and we'll have a roller. Unfortunately, it's so corroded that the numbers that are there, you can't really read. I can read the word format and then just random numbers and stuff. I can't get a matched pair that would give you like a count. There's a 13 here. There's it's like a 6 and a 4. Some other numbers and letters. But anyway, it's now a mystery. Alright, going through the pile of stuff. Whoever they got this car from was definitely into Mopars. Got some stuff that does not go with the car, and then we've, got a lot of stuff that does. And there's a piece for 64 CUDA. Got another CUDA emblem thing. I think this would go on the back of the car. It's pretty cool. Spare door handle. We do have the mirror, and we have an incorrect mirror. We got a spare. That mirror, some of this stuff's labeled, some of it makes sense. There's a trunk tumbler with a key. It's pretty cool, original key. Miscellaneous hardware. 2 different kinds of turn signal indicators. This round one here that goes on the fender, and then this one that also goes on the fender. But I believe this is the style we need. We've only got one of those. Got some round marker lights. Got plenty of tail light pieces, parts, and marker light pieces, parts in there. Some random hardware. Fender trim screws, trim pieces, parts, clips, bolts, and cowl screws. 1 headlight bucket and bezel. Another one that's too small off of something else. So, you know, got some stuff. Clean this up, just kind of going through it, seeing what we're missing. Unfortunately, it looks like the glove box door's been laying face down in some nastiness.
I can blast that for you.
But
In the cabinet.
yeah, we'd still have to wipe it with Bondo and sand it down though, because it's going to be pitted for sure. But we do have that. Mopar air cleaner. But, you know, just kind of checking it out, seeing what we got and don't got. I was really hoping for, like, you know, a bunch of hardware where I could put the front end on the car. Where the fenders are loose, you know, fender bolts, and then, you know, put this front sheet metal and the grills and stuff in. But we got hardware. I just got to figure out what sizes we need. Oh, and a rattle can the wheels. Man, it looks like a race car now. It's like brand new, basically. I love it. All right, we're still doing some stuff. Decided that really wanted to see the car more put together. Pulled this fender off. I beat this dent out of it a little bit. I stomped on it right here and got some more dents out of it. And I did the same thing at the bottom. It fits way better than it did. Could still use some adjusting, but it's good enough for who it's for. Got these 2 pieces in correctly now. We're gonna start putting the grill in and all that other jazz and try to figure out what we're missing. I think there's some pieces outside that go here. We didn't take the car apart, so I'm having to learn how to put it back together. It's gonna be awesome. There you go, boys and girls. Ooh, this thing looks good. Yes, sir. Got the grill on, bumpers on-ish. Car's been wrecked, so the front's a little tweaked. So lining it all up's been kind of a fight. But there's more bolts in it than there was. The car looks good. Spray painted the steelies, fresh black, basically brand new, ready to run. I do need a headlight bezel and a bulb for this side, or a headlight bucket. We have the bezel right there. Bezel's on, but we need the bucket, the trim ring, and the bulb. And we're missing some kind of piece that goes between the core support and the grill that the hood latch attaches to, which we'll probably do hood pins with the cables, you know, be cool. And we're missing our turn signals. The indicators, the ones that we had, were incorrect for the car. No antenna. But I mean, so far this thing's killer. It looks so much better. This is, I think, interior trim pieces. These go inside the front fenders back at the firewall. Got both of them, and I think this is all interior trim because I really can't figure out anywhere else it could go. Car looks good. I have to roll it out tomorrow or Monday. Get a good picture of it all put together. But I think that's gonna do it for this one. Car looks like a car now. It's a cool car. We are missing some, you know, probably some letters and some trim and stuff, but that's where that went, by the way. I thought it went on the back. It went in the grill. I mean, it's a cool car. I'll probably stick the seats in it so I can sit in it, see what it feels like. We'll probably put all the trim back on the car. Got a couple spots I'm gonna sand a little bit and put a little paint on before we snap the trim in place. But other than that, I mean, I think this thing's killer. I would love to get a different color door for it, but you know what? That door's fine too. We got a Mopar. I appreciate y'all tuning in to the channel. I hope you've enjoyed this. I know we're back on a little bit of hot rod stuff, and we're gonna get back on Old Blue. This just kind of popped up on Marketplace, and well, you know how that goes. So it's cool though. Y'all have a good one. God bless you.